'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through Wayne Manor, not a creature was stirring, not even Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner, you say? But isn't he a different brand?
It's a crossover event. Isn't that grand?
All the villains were sleeping, dreaming of evil. The Joker wished of weapons that are most medieval.
Wolverine snored loudly, Beast purred like a kitten. On the floor, the remains of Logan's tattered mittens.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, Batman sprang from his bed to see what was the matter.
And who should he see crawling out of the Batcave?
It was jolly Saint Nick, who gave a sheepish wave.
Merry Christmas, Batman. Please don't be mad. I crashed the Batwing, and the damage is bad.
Batman looked happy. His temples weren't throbbing. He said, "Don't worry, Santa. We'll blame this on Robin."
That was an original poem by me. How great was that? It's the Geek 360 show. Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Hello, welcome to the Geek 360 show. I'm Tommy Bechtold, and with me is my co-host.
I am Chris Gore. It's my buddy Tommy Bechtold. This is our first show.
And also our season finale.
Yes, all in one. We just decided to wrap it up because it's been an odd year in 2014, an odd year for nerds, right?
Difficult year. We had that poem. I'm not sure how that went over. So already I'm judging the show.
Right.
But we're here now to cover all of your weekly geekly news, anything you might want to talk about, the news of the week. And joining us, we have some distinguished guests. To my left, my brother from a Gotham mother, Devon Stewart.
What's up, people? It's me, your guy from Gotham, and the #1 Flash fan of all time. Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. He gets very upset if you forget it.
I really do.
Next to him, another dear friend of mine, occasionally fills in for me on the Gotham After Show. We have actress and improviser Becca Scott.
I am honored that you called me distinguished. No one's ever said that before.
I'm trying a word a day calendar, and so far it's been going quite exuberantly. That's not the right word. And our special guest today, you know him from his work on Metalocalypse, the ABCs of Death, currently producing the documentary The Death of Superman Lives. What happened? Give it up for John Schnepp.
What's up, everybody? Happy holidays.
Yes. Good.
This is probably one of the most awkward beginnings to a show ever, would you say?
I-
a little awkward?
I would say
a
you
little awkward to begin?
I would certainly say you calling it out isn't a great sign.
I would say it was actually totally awesome until Gore ruined it.
Did I ruin it?
I kinda
Oh
ruined
my
it.
God,
You
I'm
really
sorry.
ruined
I'd say-
Let's get started with the show because we've just been sitting here geeking out about tons of topics.
True.
Before the show even began.
Yeah, I think we could probably go home now.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
we did it.
pretty much
Yeah.
done.
I'd
Pretty
say
much
the
done.
topics are distinguished.
But first of all, I'm really happy to have you guys here today. And a lot of great nerd news. I mean, we've seen so many cool nerd things happen recently, the Force Awakens trailer. But we need to talk about this. DC has announced the cast of the Suicide Squad, right? In this new onslaught of DC movies, right after Batman versus Superman, we're going to see Suicide Squad. I want to know, Devon, what do you think of the casting choices for Suicide Squad?
Well, if you know me, and as Tommy does, he knows me well. Willard Christopher Smith Jr., one of my favorite actors of all time, is fucking dead shot. I don't need to say anything else about the rest of it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the rest of the cast. I could care less. But Willard Christopher Smith Jr. is on it, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
Well, that'll be interesting to see Will Smith kind of come.
Willard Christopher
Willard,
Smith Jr.
that's right. Is that I never knew that was his full name.
Yup.
Interesting. So what do you think about him being in the film? Do you think this makes it? Because Will Smith, you don't really see him in a lot of ensemble movies. Suicide Squad, I assume, is going to be ensemble. This is something different for him. Normally, he's the star, right?
And besides, like, the Bad Boy movies and stuff like that. But, I mean, I feel like he'll be good with it. You know, I mean, I don't think there's a lot that Will can't handle. You know, shout out to Will. If you see this, please hit me up.
I can tell you one thing he can't handle: raising children. I would say that's one thing that Will Smith could use a little bit of help with. Am I wrong?
Shots fired on the Pinkett Smith family.
Am I wrong? His kids
not
are
there.
insane. His kids are crazy.
Yeah.
You know, when
Great
I was
music
15,
videos.
I said some ridiculous bullshit, too. I believe at one point I felt like I could play professional football when I was 15.
Right.
What's more delusional than that dream? Becca, any thoughts on the Suicide Squad
Oh, I
casting?
thought you meant on professional football.
my professional football
I
career.
still too think I could possibly play professional football. I'm not ruling it out. As far as the cast, I don't know. I feel like for big ensembles, when you haven't made a movie about all these characters, like putting all these guys together, their personalities and their reputations may precede them, and they're all big characters, and so I don't know. I think it may be too much for one movie, and maybe they should go with, really talented actors that aren't as big of names, so we don't have these preconceived notions about what they're going to bring to it.
Are you suggesting yourself? Is that what you're saying? Did you audition for Harley Quinn?
Because
you're
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
'cause I
should be in this movie.
I actually think that you would make a good Harley Quinn.
I'll take it. Done. All right.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I want to be
I agree.
abused by my Joker boyfriend constantly.
Sure.
But it's too late. It's already cast. So sorry to say that. John, what are your thoughts on this?
I like that they went for an all-star cast because it's like the Dirty Dozen. I mean, I think it's great when when a movie can put a bunch of stars together and you're confident with all the different levels of, we've got people who are more famous for being in funny action films, other people are serious actors and actresses. So I think it's a great cast. Whether or not Will Smith is going to become Deadshot and the Suicide Squad, it's hard to tell, but I'm glad that he's being a team player. I think a lot of people, when we first heard about the casting like 2 months ago, it's pretty much everybody except Ryan Gosling. They were like, we're gunning for all these people,
Right.
and they got him except for Ryan Gosling. So I think it's going to be an exciting film.
They were actually thinking about calling it Willard Christopher Smith Jr. and Friends.
Really?
I would have bought it then immediately.
Who is this Willard Christopher Smith that you speak of?
That's Will Smith.
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I just call him Jimlix. That's his real name. Yeah, Jimlix is playing Deadshot.
Perfect. Guys, that was excellent. I couldn't be happier.
Okay, that was your first question.
Thanks. We got one segment underway, but I am so honored. This is unbelievable. It's Christmas time. Celebrities are all around Los Angeles, but we were able to, live via satellite, get a hold of maybe the most famous Christmas-based celebrity. We're going now into the Davis home to meet our friend Nick.
Oh, hey, I'm Nick. Please don't call me Saint Nick, because I'm pretty sure that saints don't shower with Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Yeah. Hey, anyways, I'm here at the Davis household, right, to drop off a geeky little toy for little Robbie. So I got him a Ewan McGregor action figure. So I guess the kid collects actors or something. So good for him and whatever he's into. Oh, ooh, look at this. Looks like the Davis family enjoys sharing in the time-honored tradition of leaving Santa some cookies and a little something to drink to warm his toes. Huh? Yeah. I think I'll skip the empty carbs and go straight to the yum-yums. Oh, that's the holiday spirit. Hey, guess what? Merry Christmas, everyone!
Well. That was one of the most upsetting takes on St. Nicholas I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope that family's safe tonight. Our prayers are with them. All right, topic 2. And this one's going to get, I feel like it's going to really evoke some emotional responses. Benedict Cumberbatch,
Woo!
who you rarely see turn up in movies and TV these days,
Yeah.
has been cast as Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange, a warlock of sorts in the Marvel Universe.
girl, I got you.
Now tell me,
Oh, thank you.
this is a 2-parter, and I'd like you to discuss whatever part you think. Is this a little too much Cumberbatch? And also,
Whoa.
if it was, okay, settle down. Let me finish the question. We'll let you go first, Becca, because I can see I've already started a small fire. Who would you have rather seen cast as Doctor Strange, if not for this man brooding in the photo behind us? Becca, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this?
Well, I didn't mean to skip the order or whoa in the middle of your topic.
Sure.
But this man can do no wrong. He is such a talented actor and brings such depth to a role. And I feel like Doctor Strange, he's such like a dark, brooding character, but he also has this arrogance about him that Cumberbatch nails all the time. I mean, Sherlock is a great example. There's a lot of parallels between the characters in my mind that I think it's going to be an excellent movie because of that, despite the writer of Prometheus.
Okay. All right. Sure.
I mean, Brett, what am I supposed to say? She pretty much hit it on the door nail right there. We got
You're also very attracted
him,
to
right?
him?
Well, and yes, I don't know how to say that without sounding like I do something beyond my standards, but he's a very
Not that
good
there's
actor.
anything wrong with that, of course.
No, I said my standards.
Your standards.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, look at him. You're talking about the guy that played Khan And you know what I'm saying? You know, nobody ever really thought they were going to reimagine that person, and I thought it wasn't that bad. You
Okay.
know?
All right.
I mean, with Sherlock Holmes, he played a dragon, like, he's pretty good. I think he could play Doctor Strange. I don't see a problem with it.
He transformed into that dragon, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw The Hobbit. He's unrecognizable in that movie. You would never think that is Benedict Cumberbatch.
There you go. And I mean, wasn't Joaquin Phoenix up for that role for a while, too?
Hey, I mean, I think at one point everybody,
Yeah.
they were like, Johnny Depp, all of them. Mr. Schnapp.
I don't think I would have wanted to see him, though. I don't think I would have wanted to see Johnny Depp.
You're done with the Depp.
Yeah, I think I'm done with the Depp.
I heard
but
that
I'll go with
Paul Giamatti was up for Doctor Strange, and then I don't know who this Bennett. How do you say his name?
Benedict, like the egg dish.
Right.
And then Cumberbatch, like a
batch of
Harry
eggs.
Potter plant, like a plant from the world of Harry
I'm just
Potter.
very unfamiliar with him. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah, you know what? When they first announced that they were going to do a Doctor Strange movie, I was like, I hope they get Benedict Cumberbatch, because I had just seen the Frankenstein play that, that Danny Boyle directed.
With
and he
Johnny Lee
played-
Miller, and they switched roles?
They switched roles, and I
Yeah.
went and saw it, and he did such a great job. The version I saw was him playing Dr. Frankenstein.
Okay.
So I was like, man, he would be perfect for Doctor Strange.
Okay.
So I'm very happy. I mean, you know, look, I think Joaquin would have been, who would have added some extra layers
Sure.
in a different way, but I think Benedict is perfect. So.
But I think I would have got annoyed with the cleft lip after a while.
Okay, well, he
Well, he
can't
has a
really...
mustache. You would never see it.
I'd have been like, oh, God,
His
there it is
physical.
again.
There's one thing we don't tolerate on Geek 360, and that's any physical imperfections. If you look at this panel, I have assembled an Avengers squad of male and female model-like characters.
Instead of Iron Man, we got War Machine here.
That's right.
Adonis, ladies and gentlemen.
Adonis.
His imperfections are what make him unique and special, and would
It's
make
like-
him able to fall in love with robot
I don't
women.
want to quote In Sync, but what makes you different makes you beautiful. And that's what Christmas is all about.
I just think it's a Marvel movie. We're going to go see it anyways.
Absolutely.
Regardless of who's in it or what comic book it is. I mean, also, Doctor Strange is not like a big comic, at least in the mainstream. I mean, we all sitting here know who Doctor Strange is.
Sure.
But most average people don't, just like most average people didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was before last summer.
That's why they
So-
didn't care that it ended in a dance battle.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Fancy Ghosts from Marvel. Fancy
Fancy
Ghosts
Ghosts.
and the Winter Pam. That's
Ooh, it's getting real.
just look it up. Just look it up, folks. It was an SNL sketch. It was funnier than the joke I just tried to make. But Tommy, I actually have to compliment you on this little pre-taped interview you did with a major celebrity.
Oh, thank you.
That we're about to see. Tommy Bechtold interviews a major Hollywood star.
That's right.
On our first show. It's pretty fantastic. Let's take a
It was a
look.
big get. Well, I'm here in the woods with American treasure Charlie Sheen. Charlie, thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, thank you, Tommy Bechtold, for going into the woods with me, Charlie Sheen.
Okay, I'm noticing a little theme. It seems like we're talking a lot about Into the Woods, which is a movie coming out December 25th.
Yeah, and it would have been coming out with me, Charlie Sheen, the original bad boy, if I had been allowed to play the role I was supposed to play of the big bad wolf.
Oh, Johnny Depp is playing the big bad wolf, and he looks great.
Yeah, he looks great because he took all the research material that I acclimated and learned and took and gave to the movie, and yet they gave it all to Johnny Depp.
You did a lot of research. Can you describe that?
Yeah. Me and the guys just left Hollywood and we went to South Dakota and actually lived with wolves for 6 months.
Lived with wolves. How did that go?
Not well. They turned on me almost immediately. They must have sensed I had some ancient warlock blood in my stream.
Oh, wow. Well, it seems like you made it out okay. Were you able to learn any lessons from the wolves while you were there?
They taught me plenty. I mean, now I can hunt and kill and silently stalk my own food. I can open things with my very sharp teeth. And I contracted a rare wolf STD, to my knowledge, is completely incurable.
That's a shame. It's also a shame that we're never going to get a chance to see you perform in this movie. It seems like you worked so hard to be in.
Yeah, that's Johnny Depp for you, stealing all my great roles. Like Ninth Gate, Astronaut's Wife, The Tourist.
Those are literally Johnny Depp's 3 worst movies.
But they would have been the best Charlie Sheen films ever. I mean, I meant sequels. Think about it. Major League 2, Hot Shot Part 2, Wall Street 2.
You were in Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps?
No, but it got a sequel just from me being in it. Plus, there's even a podcast of 8 Men Out.
There's a podcast. What's that called?
9 Men Out.
And it went straight to podcast.
Straight to podcast.
Well, Charlie, I gotta say, there's no denying your success is unbelievable.
Well, thank you. As a matter of fact, I gotta continue my success right now.
Oh, you're shooting anger management.
No, the wolf pack's in town. We're gonna go hunt the Hollywood Hills to see what we can find, and eat and stalk. Eating!
Oh! Charlie Sheen, everybody. All right. What a get. He was relatively subdued for the Sheen machine, you know?
I want to listen to that podcast now.
9 Men Out?
Yeah,
you can check 9 Men Out on imcrazy.com, which is Charlie Sheen's personal website.
I'm all about that podcast.
Yeah, and you know, that Wolf STD, Charlie, we got you in our prayers for those of us that pray.
All right, moving on, let's talk about the DC and Marvel universe. They're ever expanding into, of course, not just cinematic universes, but also television, right? Flash show, the Arrow show, Gotham. Now we have Krypton. Krypton is going to be a show.
Save it. Oh, it may be another topic later.
Okay.
Don't burn it.
But there are all these TV shows expanding from these universes. And what's interesting is there's not a lot of crossover. What do you guys think about this? And we started with you guys before. I'm going to start with John on this. What do you think about the Marvel and DC universes expanding into television and the crossovers? Marvel seemed to have done a good job of crossing over. DC, there was the one actor, of course, they have the Flash that came out, which I think the Flash TV show is amazing.
Yes.
The new Flash TV show is fantastic.
Right.
Right?
I'll just say this: I haven't watched any of them except for one episode of Constantine, and then I just heard they canceled Constantine.
Right.
So I watched 2 episodes of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think right about now I'm going to go back and watch season 1.5. Just because I've heard so much about them integrating the movies with the television series, which I think is a really smart idea. But for some reason, they're not doing that with the DC comic books. Like CW, they've got Flash and Arrow crossing over, and I know they're going to have Supergirl on the CW, so those 3 will cross over. But then you have they're doing a Teen Titans on another channel, and that won't be part of the same universe. Gotham is not part of any of the same universes, so it's just strange to me. That's one of the reasons I never got into Smallville, for above other reasons, just that it had no continuity with anything.
And different actors. There's Ezra Miller's playing the Flash in the DC movies, and then you have Grant Gustin is playing the Flash. Whereas on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you're in a Marvel movie, you do a 1-episode cameo on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's the same actors. You know, Samuel L. Jackson showed up on an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Which I think is great. I mean, you get it's almost like a little bonus feature, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're into the Marvel movies, you'll be into the Marvel TV shows because those crossovers really work. I think it's almost insulting to the guy who played Grant, who plays Flash on the TV show, because he's really good. I really and I love that they built this mythology in the show, because the ending of the show, there's always a little button that keeps you watching, there's this overriding mystery, right?
But did they have Gorilla Grodd in this?
Yeah,
have they done that already?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay, well, let's get into it.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
This is the Flash man right here.
Okay.
Do it.
Now, first of all,
Because I want to see it.
I don't know about
I read
you.
that. I was like, Gorilla Grodd, I'm going to watch this show.
One of my favorite Flash villains, by the way.
Yeah.
I just want to know, a fucking fox will pop up at an elementary school and it's on the news, right? But a huge gorilla, mind you, he's probably been smartened by this accelerator particle. There's no one's mentioned anything about a giant gorilla. I'm just saying, if I saw a gorilla, I'd be like, hey, tap somebody. There's a gorilla over there.
Maybe
news would spread like
wildfire.
wildfire.
Really stealthy.
He
got super smart, and I was like, I'll hide.
Maybe at least in the beginning, give us oh crap, the gorilla's escaping. But no, and then we're gonna get back to this right here. Now, Grant Gustin, Ezra Miller thing. I'm just saying, I didn't really feel Grant Gustin in the beginning. He grew on me, of course. You know, I felt like he's a very good actor, especially in the mid-season finale. Great job. He was crying his dad in jail. I was like, oh my God, he's amazing. And then they go from Grant Gustin to the actual big budget film, and they pick Monica from Friends over here. I'm supposed to go from this to that. You know how long it took me to adjust to Grant Gustin? I had to do meditation at home for extra 30 minutes a day for 3 weeks straight just to accept the fact that he's about 40 pounds too light.
Okay.
And then they're going to pick this one.
Yeah.
He looks like the last surgery that Michael Jackson had. And I'm supposed to accept, look at this curl on his face.
He does
My girlfriend
look-
don't
he
even
is
got a curl that good in front of his face.
Also, it should be pointed out that our audience is going to have Flash fatigue. By the time the Flash movie comes out, there'll have been 3, 4, 5 seasons of the Flash on television. So when the Flash movie comes out in 2019, right? That's when it was announced. I just don't think it makes any sense.
Well, just so you know, Flash doesn't catch fatigue using the Speed Force.
Right, that's
so
true.
I don't think
I'm saying the
anybody else
audience is going to be fatigued.
the audience
my
watching.
opinion.
If we're not tired of Superman, Batman by now, we're not gonna get tired of the Flash.
All right,
Just
on the
saying
whole,
that.
actors from TV going to movies and vice versa, I think that there is a different caliber of actor in film, and that's changing as our TV shows become more cinematic with things, you know, that we've seen on like networks like AMC and stuff like that. But it's all about the studio's risk, and you know they want to go with the actor that is gonna make people in that box office on opening night, which debatably Marvel and DC have that power just by being a Marvel or DC movie. But with TV, you have time to grow. You have time to start not liking a character and grow to love them because you know you'll accidentally tune in, and they have time to build it and build their audience. Versus with a major feature film, you need that box office opening weekend to have high sales, and you do that by getting a big name. And I think also with the Flash character, that Ezra is a little darker, a little broodier, and if you're going for like, if you want to keep DC in that world that kind of Christopher Nolan has set up, it is darker than a lot of network television.
Can I just say, Becca, I never accidentally tune into anything. I tune into things on purpose.
With great purpose.
And I have a way to solve this. So for the DC executives in our audience watching this show right now, here is how you fix the problem of the DC television universe and the DC film universe. It's very simple. The solution is this. The TV universe is Earth 2, and the movie universe is Earth 1. And there shall be the crisis on infinite Earths, when Earth 1 and Earth 2 combine, and Superman on the cover of a comic illustrated by George Perez, there'll be a dying Supergirl in his arms. And this is how we solve the problem. There's an Earth 1 and there's an Earth 2. Boom! Drop the mic, I'm out.
But I think Jeff Johns already said that.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
He did say that? Oh, well then,
But
I thought I had an original idea.
Did he say it as emotionally?
He didn't say it as emotionally.
And of
He
course,
does.
Oh, really?
Gore wins for emotionality.
Okay, okay.
course,
But I think that's funny. I think
Damn.
that's because that was one of my favorite comic book series
Yeah.
as a kid was Crisis on Infinite Earths, because you'd look at a spread layout and there'd be like 500 superheroes all fighting. There'd be dead ones, and there's Robins in 6 different outfits from 6 different Earths.
25
All the
different
different
Supermans.
Robins.
Yeah.
I love the concept of the like, you know, infinite Earths and infinite Batmans and Robins.
and
and
who
stuff.
wouldn't
So
love
that makes a lot of sense.
a bouquet of robins? Of course, this show is taking place on Earth 3. No, I would love to let you ramble
dumb.
about 20 robins for 20 minutes. Unfortunately, our entire production crew has fallen asleep during that rant. So we have to wake them up.
I was passionate.
I want them to bring
Passionate.
back Earth 2, the Tim Curry TV show. That would be my dream. Now, guys, another miraculous thing has happened. I hate to call it a Christmas miracle, but we have once again, via satellite, been joined by the man himself, our dear friend, the patron saint of Christmas, our buddy Nick.
Hey there, Nick again. Please, don't call me Father Christmas until the results come back from the paternity test in Duluth, Minnesota. I just don't think there's any resemblance, really. Anyways, here's the thing. Here I am in the Herrera household, which looks almost exactly like the Davis household. I guess IKEA, right? Regardless, I'm here to drop off a toy for little Joey. I got him one of these things, a soccer ball, football, and you know, I don't know if he wants it necessarily, but after the World Cup, I got about 500 million of these suckers, so little bastard better learn to start kicking. And ooh, look at that, huh? Something for Santa to wet his whistle at. Oh, it's 4:20 a.m. Oh, it's time for me to smoke my brains out and then get some Christmas meatballs and nog. Merry Christmas, everybody.
I feel like there's no way this ends well. Guys, we're at a very special portion of the show. Each week we have our special guest, and we invite them to do a rant, get something off their chest. Our guest this week is no stranger to rants, Mr. John Schnepp. And now we will give him the floor, and he will say whatever is on his mind. John Schnepp, everybody.
I wanted to say a couple of things just to get off my chest. I've been watching a lot of trailers, and then I've been hearing a lot of people talking about these trailers. And to me, it gets a little tiring when I hear everyone judging a movie before the movie actually comes out. Everyone has an opinion about these trailers. You could be angry about Terminator Genesis, or however you pronounce it, but you don't know if the movie's going to be good or not. You haven't actually seen the film. Same thing with Mad Max, Fury Road, same thing with Star Wars The Force Awakens. So many people are complaining about a three-bladed lightsaber. You don't know exactly what the film's going to be until it comes out. I think, personally, a lot of these trailers, like Jurassic World, I was like, hey, look, it looks pretty exciting to see Chris Pratt riding with a bunch of raptors. And people are angry because they're like, well, raptors wouldn't be riding with them. It's like, you don't even know what the story is yet. And then, like, maybe it comes out a little bit later. You're like, oh, wait. The raptors, he trains them. It's sort of like SeaWorld. Instead of like fish, it's raptors, so they're his friends. Maybe it makes sense. Wait till the movie comes out. So really, that's kind of my overall complaint right now is like, people have so many opinions on trailers before they actually come out, before the movie actually comes out, that it gets a little tiring to me to hear people complain about, especially, I'll just be honest, when Ben Affleck was cast, I said, you know what, that's a pretty bold decision. Let's wait till the movie. I know we have to wait 4 years, but let's wait till the movie comes out. Everybody was hating on that. And then gradually, now people are like, now it's half and half. People are like, oh, I don't mind Ben Affleck. Oh, so once the movie comes out, I think everyone's going to be like, Ben Affleck's the perfect Batman. And everyone's going to be on Batman's tip, on Ben Affleck's tip. But that's what I'd just say. Like, my rant is like, chill out, wait till the movie comes out, talk about it, but don't make all these decisions and judgments. That's it.
Woo! That felt healthy. That was a hearty rant.
Right?
That's a rant you can take home to the kids.
Yeah.
Teach them a little something. Thank you, John Schnepp. No.
Let's talk about our next. First of all, that was great. That was you walked through. That's good. That's good.
And I had no idea it was on because usually these red lights, that's why I was just standing there. I was like, oh, am I on yet? Because I see that. So sorry for the weird pause.
I like your rant. I agree with you. I think, wait till the movie comes out. Plus, I can't wait to see Star-Lord versus the dinosaurs.
And I'm going to be...
So I prefer to think of that Jurassic Park movie. It's Star-Lord is back, and he's fighting dinosaurs.
With raptors on his side.
Okay, let's get into another topic. Sci-Fi Channel is developing a Krypton origin show that follows Superman's grandfather on Krypton. Is it Krypton or Krypton? I like Krypton.
The way you say it bothers me. So I want to say Krypton, but I like Krypton. I've never.
It's like
it sounds
Robot.
so weird.
Yeah.
It's like Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krypton.
I
So
say
what do we
it
think about? What do we think about, especially in light of like Gotham? Now we've seen how Gotham is played out, which is
The penguin washing dishes.
it's the world's longest hand job, which is basically what Gotham is. Will this be an even longer hand job, Krypton?
Probably. I mean, who even knows the name of Superman's grandfather?
Not me. But I would like to say, if it's a long hand job, we know it ends in an explosion. Oh, because the planet explodes. I'm here all night.
Spoilers!
I'm here all night for jokes. Nothing else.
Well, I haven't seen really much of anything that Sci-Fi is doing. Are there any big shows that Sci-Fi has done, or is this kind of their first foray?
You're not
They
familiar
did,
with the Will Wheaton project?
What about Sharknado?
Touche.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
kind
that's
of
true.
a
That's
giant
an excellent
series.
show.
And they've got
But,
that
that
show
was kind
coming
of a
up,
while ago.
Ascension, that looks pretty good. It's sort of like Mad Men in outer space. It looks pretty awesome.
I mean, I'm withholding judgment in lieu of your rant on Krypton until I see it, because I feel like this is not a world that I know a lot about. Sure. So, it could go any way. Aliens are cool. Who knows?
Look at that. Your rant is already changing lives. Isn't that nice?
What? I can't believe it.
rant?
I think it's horrible. No, I think, you know what? They're saying that they're going to go from the Man of Steel Krypton, which was pretty fun. They got weird dragons.
Yeah.
And it's like a cool fusion of like John Byrne's Krypton, like Man of Steel. So a lot of different pieces from the comic books have been like fused into this newer version. So I don't mind seeing the politics of Krypton. It's like Jor-El. I don't know what his grandfather's name
nobody
is.
knows what this is.
Jom-Lel or whatever.
It's like Samuel L.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing if Samuel
Jim
L.
L. Wouldn't that be horrible? John L.
What if it
Why are
was,
normal
what if it was
names?
Jeff L?
Jeff L.
Jeff L.
Walter L.
No, it'll have 3 L's, like Jimel L, just to make it
And
weird.
a silent Z in the middle.
Does Sci-Fi, Sci-Fi is basically a network that is known for making really shitty special effect movies.
Yeah.
Are they going to have the budget to make Krypton look even remotely respectable, or
Well, I
is it
think
going to be like...
It's going to be different than they go to the asylum to get like Sharknado or
Sure,
Attack of the
sure,
Wasp
sure.
guy or whatever. Those are made like for $5 and
Right.
like some thread. This is different. They're dealing with a DC property, so they have all these different avenues of getting
They'll have
cash. So it has
funding.
really nothing to do really with Sci-Fi. They're just like the destination.
Yeah, look at Battlestar Galactica.
Sure.
I mean, that show looked amazing.
Yeah.
So, I think it depends on look, if it's a comedy, which Sharknado, let's face it, was a comedy, why would you make those special effects good? Making them good is not going to make the movie funnier, especially if it's supposed to be a comedy. I love the Sharknado movies. I think they're hilarious.
That's a
They
good
knew what
point.
they were
Well,
doing.
realistically, I mean, I feel like Krypton's going to do just like Gotham. I mean, it's going to be one of those things you're expecting Batman or you're expecting Superman. You're never going to get him, especially if we're talking about Superman's granddaddy.
We'll like we see Mr. Mixelplix doing the dishes.
Wait,
is
so-
that going to happen?
Yeah.
You're not
Mr.
gonna see, but
Mixelplix.
that's the cool thing about Krypton is you're not ever going to expect Superman because it's about his grandpa. So
Yeah.
Superman, you already know going into it, you're not going to see Superman.
Well, I mean, I feel like we wouldn't expect to see Superman, but the general public will expect to see Superman in some way, shape, or like they'll expect to see the S on this, like, oh, that's talking about Superman. Or they're expecting to hear somebody say like Zod, and then you're like, but this is his
but it's
grandfather.
Zod's,
is not that. Oh,
grandpa.
yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's
No, well, that's a good
Zed.
point. That like for example, Gotham kind of dilutes its villains in their younger form, and you're not going to have that
Right.
a thing that you have to wrestle with. That won't be annoying.
Gotham also dangles the carrot of Bruce Wayne in every episode. Like they're literally like, hey, you know the thing you want to see more than anything else? Here he is as a boy, completely helpless.
Years away from becoming Batman.
This show has to
Years.
be on the air for 17 years for him to be Batman, and how fun would that be?
Well, Krypton's gonna say, well, my daughter, she expects to have a son. I don't know, with some guy last name L, maybe. Who knows? And then we're gonna have
Oh,
to
it's
deal with that.
it's his maternal grandfather.
There you go.
That's even more
That's
interesting.
great.
Wow. Wasn't that a delightful twist? We love twists here at
It's a
Geek
twist.
360. Now, this is probably against my better judgment, but he hasn't stopped paging me since we last saw him. We've got Nick again. He's in another home. We assume he's going in through the chimney, but he also may just be breaking and entering. So please welcome once again live via satellite our Christmas pal, seemingly having a mental breakdown, our old friend Nick.
Yo! Hi! It's Nicky Claus. I can't find my pants. Well, it's no biggie. Hakuna Matata. I'm just wrapping up here because I gotta go back to my wife. What can I say? She Mrs. Robinson me. It's old. I'm here at the Miller house. Gonna give little Lauren a little toy. I got her a Freddy Krueger action figure. So, which could, could be my bad because she suffers from night terrors. But I gotta get back to my old wife. She's like a gray ball and chain. Well, I was gonna have this one more because Dash is my DD anyway, and I just go back to my lovely wife I love so much. Oh, look at that! Oh, the Miller family left vegetables for my little furry friends on the roof. So, hey everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkahs, and you just have a good day.
Dear God, what have we done?
I'm just glad he has a DD.
Dasher is his DD. He's having a good time. He's working hard. It's December 11th, so he's not even technically supposed to be delivering presents. But we're going to ignore that logic flaw that I have created for myself and move on to our final topic. I'm as sad as you guys are. I can't believe this is over. Almost over. Now, the last topic I'd like to discuss is we recently, through the leakage at Sony, discovered that there were discussions between Marvel and Sony Pictures about incorporating Spider-Man, or as Chris calls him, Spider-Man, into the Captain America Civil War movie. Now, do you, as a panel, think that these crossovers, having these characters come from different studios, is that good? Do we want to see that? Or is it going to cause the studios to become lazy with their movies if they can have all of it? Does it keep the X-Men on their toes with the fact that they can't have any of the Avengers in their movies? The people making the movies, I should say. Or do you think they should all just be allowed to cross over and be in everyone? Should we have the Fantastic Four in the next Avengers movie or what have you? Devon, thoughts on this?
I mean, realistically, it was bound to happen.
Sure.
You can't keep playing with the same parts of the same machines, you know what I'm saying, and then not put it all together.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like it was coming, and now they've made, like, I guess, to my personal opinion, a better version of Spider-Man. No more no-lip Maguire, so we're good. And yeah, it'd be cool to see Spider-Man. He was one of the main events of the Civil War. It's like you have to have Spider-Man in there. He was the one being tugged back and forth with Iron Man and Cap. That's when we get the Iron Spider, like my favorite Spider-Man suit in that movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it's bound to happen. As far as them getting lazy, I don't know. I mean, probably just because now they have so many toys to play with. You know, you start like unappreciating them. So it's like that's actually a good. I hope not.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, they're gonna try to milk it for as much as it's worth. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay.
Well, let me just say that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 was fantastic. I really like Doc Ock in that. Great storyline. Let's not talk about number 3. But I think it would be interesting because I feel like Marvel is more true to the personality of the characters than Sony is. Because, I mean, Andrew Garfield is a little hipper Spider-Man than Spider-Man is in the comics traditionally. So it'd be interesting to see what Marvel would do with the same actor playing the same character, but with totally different direction. So I would be curious to see that, but it's never going to happen because Sony said no.
Those bastards.
Well, I used to say that it was great that all these Marvel characters are spread out over all these different studios because just this year in one, you know, you could see Spider-Man and X-Men and Captain America all playing at the same time in one cinema. You know, that to me, I remember seeing that. I was like, wow, that's incredible. Unfortunately, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucked so horribly that it kind of ruined that dream that I had of like, oh, you know, I don't have to wait. Like Marvel releases 3 movies a year, but then we've got, you know, all these other studios releasing Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and X-Men. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Whereas in DC, can't even get a movie to come out once every 8 years, or it seems that way. It's like, you know, Superman and Batman are going to come out, and we'll have had like 19 Marvel movies before that movie comes out, and television series. So it's sort of, but with the Spider-Man thing, I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind having Fantastic Four or X-Men not at Marvel. I mean, I know it's gotten bitter where they're like sort of like getting rid of mutants and exchanging them for Inhumans, but that makes total sense. That's like, hey, look, X-Men, they have Wolverine, those are mutants. Fox has all of those. Now we're going to get a Deadpool movie.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it's kind of a win-win for fans. That's how I still look at it. Yeah, they just can't get their stuff together for Spider-Man. It's annoying. I would love for them to make some kind of a deal. And recently, because of these Sony hacks, it actually made the corporate headquarters of Japan say, look, we want Marvel to take over the Spider-Man thing. You guys are wrong in saying no to Marvel. So actually these hacks have actually helped, I think, get Spider-Man to come over to Marvel, and it'll still be a Sony Spider-Man movie, but Marvel will produce it. At least I think that's what's going to happen. I'd hope that happens, but specifically for Spider-Man, because the people who are running that franchise are so stupid and idiotic and horrible.
It's rudderless.
They're like making Aunt May movies. I mean, it's like it's a joke that I can't even laugh at because it's so stupid.
It seems like an Onion headline when they're like they're formulating an Aunt May driven like
secret spy Aunt May from the 50s.
For what? No, that's
Wait, that's happening?
Well, I mean,
It was talked about, but I like what you said. What you said, John. I never really thought about it that way with all the studios and spreading out the franchises. It's almost like the NFL's philosophy. The NFL's philosophy is, hey, we want to be on CBS and Fox and ESPN and ABC and you know all these different networks. But the difference is the NFL's in charge of the brand across all of those. Marvel's not in charge of its characters once they're licensed out at Fox with the Fantastic Four, which that movie's coming out in 9 months, and we haven't even seen an official still released from the Fantastic Four. You know, and with regard to Spider-Man, that most recent Spider-Man movie was god awful. I mean, you could only compare it to something like Batman and Robin. You know, it was just such a parody of itself. It was ridiculous. So I think I like the idea of these movies being at different studios, but they still should be under Marvel's, you know, under Marvel's oversee, at least, so that there's a level of quality. I mean, there's something now. Marvel's in this zone where what they put out is all of a high quality, and the thing is, it hurts Marvel's brand to have crappy movies at other studios where they've altered the characters in such a way that they don't even feel like the characters, which I think will likely be the case with this Fantastic Four movie if the rumors we found out are true. So, yeah, like what you had to say. I agree with you. And I had another little thought on it, and that's what I expressed.
And now we once again put a tiny cork in Chris so that we can all move on with our lives and go home to our sexless marriages. Now, before we say goodbye forever, I'd like to thank our guests tonight, our panelist, Devon Stewart. Anything you'd like to plug, Devon? Maybe the Gotham After Show, returning January 7th.
Yes.
Only on theStreamtv.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going to say.
Becca Scott, hiding under the table. Anything you'd like to plug?
You know, just this show. This show's great.
Geek 360 coming back January 8th at 9 p.m. And of course, John Schnepp, our guest, thank you so much for joining us. Anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, just go to the website at TDOSLWH on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow me at Twitter and Instagram, just John Schnepp, to catch up on The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. It'll be coming out in middle of 2015. So you'll be able to check that out and watch me on AMC Movie Talk here at theStream.tv.
Check it out. Guys, I want to thank Philip Wilburn and Michael McCusker for joining us and doing some sketch stuff. I want to thank my co-host, Chris Gore, for offering a fountain of information and opinions on each topic. I'm Tommy Bechtold. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next year on theStream.tv. Goodbye. Now get out of here. Go.